Hey, look, menu pog.
What the fans want to see, and how many percentages of that we get to see. And,
I'm broke, Mac. I've got none left. I had a day off yesterday, so all I did was gamble all in, and I lost every single one.
No.
It was a disaster.
Risk equals reward, though. I did that last year. I put all my Twitch points on mammoths because someone was like, "Yo, Mac, do it," and then lost them all.
Is that what Twitch sounds like? I love that.
Let's have a look at. That is what Twitch chat sounds like. That was a sad memory. That was not a menu pog moment. That was more like a menu bog moment. It's terrible. It's not good. Now, quickly before we jump into game number 2, just want to clear something up. I've remembered with this sock shoe business, when Pico was a puppy, he'd do little wheeze all across the house. So I'm not putting my socks on and walking on my shoes because that just ends in disaster and a very angry Mac. So that may be why I am how I am. But look, let's start talking about the game. We got Peace, we got Direwolves, and we have a couple of teams to talk about here, Skim.
We certainly do. So Peace coming into this one. They tried something really exciting last night, right? They gave us our very first game with Renata. Now that she's enabled. And for the most part, I would say it was a success. I mean, from laning phase, maybe it wasn't as exciting as people might have been hoping for. But in terms of those team fights, facilitated the Hecarim in a similar way as you'd imagine a Karma or say a Lulu, giving him a buff, giving him the extra agency to try and pop off, and in ideal sense, the insurance that you're going to get a second chance of life if that W got procced. But the ultimate was also the most exciting part to talk about. It, at one stage, made sure that a Fed 80 carry got a double kill in his own team. So I don't know if we're going to see much more of this champion at sort of the same prevalence as the other carries, but. Yeah, it was always good to see a different team, a high-level team, try out something new.
Yeah, 100%. Now, speaking of teams that are trying new things, making it work as well, Direwolves. They are getting those dubs. Shinky seemed to be the key to success, Rusty.
Yeah, Shinky seems to have unlocked the floodgates for Direwolves, and it's not specifically him that is doing the carrying, right? But it does seem like it's just brought something back for the team. We've seen Gudo doing some fantastic ganks towards the bot lane specifically, right? There's been a lot of alcove soldiers. Let's say in the past couple of Direwolves games, and Kyosei has just been on a tear. My man's is legitimately counterpicking himself. I don't know if you guys saw the stank face coming out of him yesterday when his team picked him LeBlanc. I can confirm he was not intending to pick it, but he got countered and still won the lane, right? That was against Kanga, and it was a 0-4 Vex in mid lane at a certain point. He's just putting on a clinic, and I cannot speak towards the man highly enough. But it is still the squad rallying around him that makes them find the wins and find this.
And look, it's one of those situations, right, where I've been told many times, even in like norms, if you get counterpicked, you can still, have better fundamentals and win that lane. We've heard a lot of pros talk about it. I've watched a lot of videos about it. Speaking of videos, we checked in with Direwolves going into this game.
Rushing into action, final spark is there. But that might be the final chance on their base. 31 minutes in, and Direwolves have finally been in the top 4 team as they take down Order.
None of us have egos. I think that's the best part of our team. We honestly just vibe outside of like LCO game days. It's actually a vibe. I like our team a lot. Okay.
The people at home who might not know Bulldog, also known as Bullguard by the Twitch chat. He's a bit of a personality. He loves to flex on everyone, loves to chat everyone up. We were always aiming for first place as this team. Like, that's the ultimate goal. We don't want to be like these other players who are only there for their paychecks. We want to go to MSI, we want to go to Worlds.
Obviously go to MSI, but try to get as high in the standings as we can for our team in general, because half of us are rookies, half of us are like last year pros, but also coming in as underdogs.
Definitely see us in playoffs, something we weren't able to show last year. Just hopefully see us actually being a team people would be scared about.
Over the weeks, we've been building up, working together more and more as a team, and going for less of these individual plays. Of course, like when we have Kyosei smurfing on the Sandra mid 1v2, like that's just the added bonus, but the main focus of the game is to work more as a team.
In the outplay situation with Kyosei, you just hype him up a little bit, but don't get too hyped so he doesn't get out focused.
Look, I'll be completely honest, Bulldog kind of shares a bromance with everyone on the team. Maybe he shares a bit of a bromance with some of the production staff too.
kind of reassuring now because we are looking like we're going to go into playoffs. The dream is coming true.
What you can expect from us, we're going to the top, baby.
That's all I have to say to that one. And oh, damn, I hope I meet him in IRL one day. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. Rusty, I hope you're in the same boat as me. You're not
It looks
smiling
like he's
as
got a powerful handshake, Mac. That's what I'm saying.
handshake. He's
Oh, you
got
go
a
straight for the hug.
big hug,
Go
son.
straight for the
Now,
hug.
someone that's probably pretty good at hugging as well is Kitty. So let's bring her back in. Who do you have for the pre-match?
Well, I love hugs, and I'm pretty sure Tian loves hugs too. So let's bring in all the hug lovers for this interview. Hello, Tian. So let's get into the interview. You once said that the team would actually like to take those losses as it highlights the issues of the team. After a few rocky performances, what has the team figured out, and what has the team been fixing to secure the playoff spot?
I mean, we're just trying to broaden our horizons. We know what we can win with, like in terms of draft, and honestly, we're just trying whatever we want. Like, pretty sure I played a Kindred top game for fun, and there's definitely like champions that I'm playing that are like, yeah, probably not my best champions, the champions that I'm known for, and so like, I've been pretty happy with like a lot of losses. Like, not like overly excited, but stuff to learn and the stuff that we can fix. And by the time come playoffs, you will see us at like our true form. So just wait and see.
Well, I'm also waiting to know because this is a really important question from the show. Do you do sock, shoe, or do you do sock, shoe, shoe?
So, wait, what? Okay, so like, don't people put on their socks in their own rooms and then go, because like I'm Asian, you know, like your shoes stay at the front, so your socks are already on when you go to put on your shoes. So pretty sure it's sock, shoe. I mean, my socks are just always on because my clothes are in my room and my shoes are not in my room. So it's definitely sock, shoe.
Well, you heard it from here, Mac. No one has shoes in their houses. You know, you always have the 2 socks on first. Well, Tian, I'm going to let you go and go play your match. Thank you for your insight on the shoe situation and best of luck.
See ya.
I heard everyone here saying that they had their shoes in their room.
No,
Just so
Nah.
you, Mac.
Is that not what you said?
that's a
No,
crime.
You know
I have
what?
my shoes in my office. I have my socks in my bedroom.
Indoor shoes are also a thing, which is why socks are valid, because I have slippers that I walk around the house in.
True,
So that
true.
way I don't have any issues with pets. And then we have outdoor shoes, which is where the socks still stay on and we transition.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Now, look, let's talk about the Dare fan vote. You guys at home can pick my predictions because you all seem to think that I'm bad at them. So look, I'll put it in your hands instead, all right? Use those Twitch points. Predict the game. See how it goes. You can win at the people that loses points and get more, or you can lose it all to the people that, you know, predicted for the other team. I guess that's how the predictions really works there in Twitch chat. So enjoy doing that. Let's have a look at our predictions for this game. Let's see if anyone's gone with the underdogs or if it's all peace. Everyone just repping peace today. Rusty, talk to me. Why?
I feel like peace. I mean, there actually is a world where you go for Direwolves in this game, and it comes back to what Tian said, and I'd actually written this down prior to what Tian said in that interview, is that they're trying things, right? Like, they know they're locked in playoffs. I don't even think they're really feeling the threat right now for losing a top 3 position, and until that point, they may just try things on stage because it's more valuable experience than trying it in a scrim. So they are prone to risks, right? They're prone to losing games, but I still have enough faith in the quality of the Peace players that they'll get that done.
Very true. Kitty, talk to me. You haven't had your say on the matchup yet. Where do you think it's going?
If Tian stays off the Kindred top, I believe it will be an easy dub for Peace. As Rusty said, Peace is doing a lot of limit testing on the Rift, but I'm sure that Dials will catch Peace off guard if they do decide to do some more experimenting, so that's maybe the point where Dials can take the win away from Peace.
Can I point out that I love the term limit testing? It's it's a great, it's like experimentation. It's like trying new strategies. But why not do it while it's live? Why not do it in the competitive games? That's where you want to see it, right, Skimmy?
It is. I mean, I just love a lot of these terms that maybe get thrown around in broadcasting, right? Where you're saying he's limit testing, he's not inting, or maybe
Creating space.
that play was rather interesting. Is a
Interesting.
light way of being like that was pretty awful, but yeah, it's always nice.
It's a great way to go around it, right? Now, look, let's talk about creating space. Is it more about like zoning? So say if you got a comp that's like, that's a dumb question, Matt. I don't care. You guys don't care. I care about champs. Like, let's just get into the game. Caster, shut up.
Well, let's see who does the most experimenting in this one, because we have seen that Direwolves did a whole host of it to start off their split, whereas they've refined things a little bit in recent weeks. Peace now might be playing opposites day with them.
Yeah, so let's get into the pick ban here. It's gonna be because I'm seeing an Ezreal ban, and anything you said was just completely lost to me because I'm looking at an Ezreal ban.
Yeah.
Ezreal Karma has been extremely popular lately, but the rise in the Caitlyn bans makes sense. Zeri and Jinx also being removed. We're nearing an Aphelios first pick angle, but Direwolves with a team that would go for the Lucian Nami if absolutely necessary. Would they do that against Peace? This is just maniac territory.
The AD carries are overrated. We don't care what Frost plays. We'll give him a Ziggs if we have to. We don't really mind. We're just going to first pick a LeBlanc.
You've heard of LeBlanc, third pick, blind. Now have you heard of literally just lock it in first on blue side? Who cares? They have to pick a winning jungler, surely. Like, you're looking for a 2v2 matchup that's favorable for you. That's one of the strengths that LeBlanc provides. So perhaps they're expecting Peace to go for like a Hecarim type comp here. Lisa does love his Hecarim. And then go straight for, some kind of winning skirmisher, because like literally this.
Absolutely.
Literally this.
And you know what's really funny to me is that these are our only two LeBlanc players. So it's literally Kiosa saying, I don't care about the Vex kind of pick. I beat it yesterday. You've actually had to ban it when you've played it. I'm going to first pick. You can take whatever you want. I'm just better than you.
And no surprises it'll be a Lucian Nami to go with it. But like that is a skill check, the likes of which I'm not used to seeing for a first pick in a draft, Gimme, and that can get punished. Lucian Nami is going to be responded to here by the Nautilus, so I think, were Direwolves blue side last time?
In their last meeting between Cells and Peace?
Yeah, I think what happened was they got the opportunity to ban a lot of things that would deal with the Lucian Nami into a really free pick of it, or their opponents just kind of rebuild their hand.
I believe they
Either
were,
way,
it was like a 5th pick Vayne from Tian, if memory serves.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking yesterday's game.
Oh, right.
When they insta-locked the Lucian Nami for Direwolves.
Double check that one for you.
Yeah, I was lost on the pick ban order. Either way, they've gone for a very aggressive 2v2 bot lane. Again, clear indicators that they probably want to be playing towards the bot side of the map. But the Nautilus is a hook champion, and if Nami had a single weakness in League of Legends, Jimmy, it tends to be champions with hooks.
Yes.
And we spoke about this yesterday. But Tian's boo, as I believe he would call it, has been banned away.
It has certainly been banned away, hence the laughter. We've also seen Zerenis in the past. He has had that poppy tucked away, perhaps for a moment just like this, but it's not going to be the case or the cause. See now what Peace decide to ban away as well. Hecarim already removed, same with the Xin, targeting onto Gudo, who has been a big advocate for the Lee Sin whenever given the chance, but the Volibear has always been at the top of the line too.
Yeah, Zin's a very good ban. I'm a little bit surprised that they did go for the Hecarim ban, though I guess Gudo is going to be quite proficient at the pick. I think of other junglers to couple with the LeBlanc personally. Either way, that's going to be their choice. And now while the ball is in the court of Direwolves to get rid of more champions from Tian, because such is the way, the question still remains on why not the Graves blind pick for a 4th pick for red side yet again. And I mean, the only trade-off there is it would be Lisa getting a counter pick. So I don't think that would be what they do. I think they would still save their top lane. But there's still so many options.
There's a lot of options, there really is. And Lisa also very proficient Lee Sin player, so he's going to steal that one away, force Gudo to try and dive deep into that champion pool and really, more so than anything, get creative. He's hovering the Jarvan at the moment. It would seem like a nice pick. It would be his first off the split, give them the eddy that they need, the strength to engage, the early aggression to try and match that of Lisa Appy.
And this is nice because it works nicely. Like, this is one of the champions that I was thinking of, Skimmy, when I was saying couples with LeBlanc. Well, if LeBlanc's able to give you setup, you have the follow-through, right? And Jarvan has insanely high damage when all of the abilities connect. Jarvan and LeBlanc into Vex. She has no mobility in terms of disengaging out of Jarvan ultimates unless she hits an ult on a target that isn't in there. So very much needs to use the flash. We have a Shyvana top lane. Or is it a Lee Sin top lane? Because Tian has been playing Lee Sin top lane still in solo.
Honestly, either at this stage. I mean, if there's ever been a player like
Pretty sure it's
Tian,
Shyvana.
to play anything, it would be him.
There's just no shot that a Gragas can handle a Shyvana.
Exciting times here in the LCO. We're running it back with some of these creative pocket picks. It all began for me when my introduction to him was playing the Lilia top, but here we go with a Shyvana. Mac, somewhere, is shouting with tears of joy.
And now it's in our ears. Thank you for summoning him. Yeah, look, it's going to be a Shyvana top lane, though, not jungle, so perhaps not what Mac is used to. However, my assumption, and I'm not an active Shyvana player, is that you could still go for like the Blade of the Ruin King, Hullbreaker type technology, right? And literally, what is a Gragas going to do if you stand in a minion wave and just either turbo push it in or threaten him at all times? You're not a resource-based champion where Gragas tends to need to start tier. So any point in the game where you might feel like a Shyvana is weak, she's fine. And her 1v1 and push is incredibly high, and it scales really well. She also is very capable of taking lane away from you, hard pushing it, and then just going into the jungle and taking jungle camps away as well. So this is one of those like 250 CS at 20-minute angles for Tian. If top is completely left isolated, and that is what the Direwolves composition is designed to do.
Certainly is. You're going to leave Gragas on an island, and you know the Shyvana is going to have that mixed damage coming through. You'd expect the Hullbreaker as you highlight, but I tell you what, there's always something beautiful about going full AP, maxing your E, and just one-shotting somebody in Dragon form, but that would be a little bit too adventurous, you'd have to say, going into this one. Regardless, though, Peace have thrown us another bit of experimentation, much to your point about what is going to give us the best chance possible to address and outplay our opponents come those knockout elimination games. But for Direwolves, I mean, they're just running it back with this Lucian Nami again. It looks so strong before, and you can only hope to see that pop off again.
And I think we've mentioned this through the split many times, but Peace on red side is probably the scariest piece that you'll go up against. And that is definitely a consideration for best of fives, and you'll learn exactly why in games like this when you see a Shyvana pick last. It's unexpected, right? But Tian can do it. He has such a deep champion pool, and red side is so good for counter-picking top lane matchups, which really skews the game state heavily. If you're just winning top in what is, weak side or isolated Gragas, the game becomes terribly hard if you make a mistake.
So it does, and no mistakes can be made as we load into this one. Direwolves on the cusp of qualifying for playoffs. Peace already comfortable with their position in that spot. Direwolves with a win here would certainly cause a stir. Well, let's jump into the coaching interview, and on this occasion, welcome back Midlord from the side of Peace. How are you, Midlord?
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, I have to ask, first of all, yesterday you played our very first game of Renata, so how highly do you rate that new champion?
This champion is really good for team fights. If he can hit ulti, that will change everything.
Minions have spawned.
As we saw, right? It managed to get a Fed AD carry to kill 2 of his teammates, which was quite exciting. Talk to me a little bit about this draft. We've got a Shyvana top lane. Is Tian just having a lot of fun?
Yeah, it's for fun, and actually, the DW camp is a short range, right? So Shyvana can just ulti then E from far away from them, poke them.
Yeah, and also going to create some fantastic zonal pressure and some burst as well. Well, I'm very excited to see what this puts out here, Midlord. Excited as always with your drafts that deliver, and wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you.
He's pretty spot on there as well, Skimmy, isn't he?
He certainly is.
Short range composition makes a lot of sense. Shyvana does have a lot of freedom to deal damage. The one exception to that, while they are short range, is there's an insane amount of mobility. So they will be kind of skirting in and out of that short range, trying to deal damage. But still, those windows exist. I like the Shyvana top. I'll be honest, when we saw the Kindred top, I had my questions, I had my reservations, and I think that was kind of shown. But this may be for fun, as he aptly says. He still gave very good reasons, Midlord, as to why it can prosper. And it does so well in its 1v1 over time, right? Starts to outwit, outlast, outplay. I'll just get the third one in there.
Get them all out there. I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming.
I couldn't help it. He's also gone for Ghost top lane, so he wants to be sticky, right? Which is a very important part of Shyvana dealing damage. And to me is a pretty clear indicator that it is going to be like an AD on hit type of tanky shiv. Just getting it done for the boys.
It will be. And Frost is copying a lot of damage with the flash away from that sniper. That was certainly going to be lethal if I'd ever seen it. Ignite had been burnt. Double summon is committed by Frost also just to survive on that occasion. It must have just been one hook and the punishment is real.
I mean, Shinky's going to be pretty happy that he didn't use summoners, but beats with flash in hand means very high kill threat bot lane, and Lisa with that vision will probably look for a counter gank. They have such a strong advantage from summoners that I think if the Jarvan ever considers going, it was losing. And so you can see it's not wise from Gudo without any information past the Gromp that they saw Lisa do. So they knew he was on this side of the map. He's just going to place vision to deter that one. So actually really well done by Direwolves after the rough trade. We didn't get to see it.
Both these junglers, they're playing mental mind games. Where are you going to go? Who's going to make the first move? What is it actually going to mean for our bot lane duo? Still hanging around in the vicinity, but there are no camps for Lisa to take unless he goes to Wolves. Would be still game on for Gudo. It's going to back away.
So we have to talk about the mid matchup again, because we're starting to see more and more egregious, just LeBlanc lock it in, I don't care, I'm just that good type of strats here from Direwolves. It was a third pick blind the other day. The Vex was pickable and did get picked, and Kyosei still won it. One of the major parts about this lane, we briefly touched on this yesterday, is the fear passive that comes from Vex. Whenever that's used, you can see LeBlanc will start to posture more aggressively and more forwards. Because it means the threat to stop LeBlanc's damage output, or effectively, right, LeBlanc will press Q, try and hit the sigil, and then if you use Distortion forwards, you get feared and you cop 3 abilities and electrocute and like 3 auto attacks. The trade always tends to go Vex's way. If that fear is not available, LeBlanc gets to play a standard lane, and I think with all of that in mind, Kyosei tries to play the wave and the minions and then abuse, his ability and his mobility whenever the passive isn't there. If you can force a Vex to use abilities, then you're pretty happy. If she's just auto-attacking, then there is always the threat there.
Yes, all those dashes can make it very easy for the Vex to get that passive, or more importantly, that fear back and ready to use again. It was worth noting, though, that Gudo was allowed to facilitate him with that initial gank as the Lee Sin to get him ahead in that lane, to push his advantage and test his individual prowess. Up against Appy and Lisa, it's going to be a whole other story.
Just one other thing quickly as well, Skimmy, is the base damage that the Gloom passive provides, right? When someone dashes near Vex, it's like 120 or 140 scaling up to bonus damage on every attack, which is why it's always winning for Vex, not just the fear. It's the fear enabling you to hit multiple procs of that passive. But nevertheless, Lisa's just going to help push this wave in and crash it. You can see Appy with no mana. Could have used his biscuits to force it in, but I guess they just wanted to do it safely, I suppose, above all else.
The case, back to base he goes, coming back to lane with completed Sork Shoes. Maximum damage as well as mobility to guarantee that he can answer the aggression that will be coming out from both of them at level 6. Very excited about the Shyvana though, as to how he wants to try and navigate things. Will he just look for the 1v1s constantly? Will he look to utilize this passive and be a big component of their dragon fights?
So far, just even scaling. Lisa is going to clear this. Question being, do they go for the Drake? They have such strong priority in bottom lane. Tian's going to hit it. Lisa is going to pull it out. So yes, they are going to commit to this one. Jarvan is on the right side of the map. Will be spotted. Teleport's not going to be useful for this. Kyosei's on the way.
Here comes Gudo. Collapse in the river from both sides. Direwolves hungry, getting closer and closer. Dragon is there. Who's got the nerve? It's going to be stolen. Gudo's picked up the first dragon of the game. The fight's now going to break out as a massive fear comes across from Appy. The Shadow Surge is going to find its mark, but has he got the reset? I don't believe he does. The bubble's going to get sidestepped, beats out of vision and out of the game, but a tidal wave, which is not the ultimate, but the W instead, the ebb and flow, if you will, is going to get it done. But he's now just going to fall on down. Double kill for Appy. He's going to find what they need.
Yeah, you would say that ends up being a very favorable trade for the side of Peace. And we'll have to keep our eyes on these teleports because I said they weren't going to be useful. This fight goes for so long. Lisa comes in for the smite. I think it's about 100 HP. Yeah, exactly 100 HP before the flag drag comes through from the Jarvan with the smite. Appy gets into the back line, and it's just a fight on 2 different fronts. Appy, honestly, I think auto-attacks about 27 times. Tian, Zoranus both teleport into the play on the same side of the map. Chaeyoung's got his red and white weapons, however, cycled through, and it's just an absolute terror and is free to deal damage. risky fight for both teams, a lot on the line and teleport to you, Skimmy, but you're very happy with that, I think, overall for Direwolves. Rather for Peace.
Certainly are. You want to make sure that you are winning this mid matchup and getting 2 kills as easy as you can, just like that. Certainly going to help open up the equation as to why did you first pick up LeBlanc? What's it really going to mean in the context of this game?
So much more than why did you first pick LeBlanc, though. It's you first pick LeBlanc, you ban Ezreal, you go for the Lucian Nami, and you leave open the Nautilus as a free pick into the right? Like, Lucian Nami's super strong, but the risk of playing Nami into hooked champions is incredibly high. Level 1, you're incredibly powerful compared to them, but if they're able to just cycle waves, right, competitive isn't solo queue, sometimes you just have to play passively because a jungler exists and you might lose your windows of strength. We didn't get to see the one trade 4-piece that went massively favorable, but I mean, Nautilus into Nami, that's always a risk. And it's a tough lane, I feel like, for a Lucian Nami.
Probably not going to be allowed to play as aggressive as they did last night. I'm in at a deficit, down CS, down a kill too. Can't afford to give any lead to Cheon. Really, just CS leads across the board, hence why at 9 minutes in, going to have a small gold lead to talk about. Gudo is on the invasion, inside track here for Direwolves bot lane if they wanted to try and match and back him up. Even Kyose getting amongst it. 4 members come together, lockdown Lisa. That's a kill on the blue.
I mean, that's just not good from Lisa. Well, like, I don't know how else to... I'm not going to butter that one up. He knows bot's missing. He knows that mid's missing. He also saw the Jarvan at the blue buff. That's not your blue buff, man. There's just no shot. I mean, he might try and go for a smite still, but walks cards towards the Gromp and just gets flag dragged, engaged on. So it's legitimately just a free kill for the side of Direwolves. I mean, well played by them. Hideaway is able to connect. Jarvan does hit the flag drag. No fancy mechanics to come out from this Lee Sin. But what are you doing there?
Maybe just left for more questions than answers on this occasion. It's, we're quite curious, as much as we were about this mid lane matchup, how the jungle would fare. Jarvan coming in, first game for Gudo. Was played by Lisa last time these two teams met. Thought this could be the aggressiveness that they needed to try and match go toe-to-toe. Well, so far, first kill is found by him in that occasion. On to the Heralds. As we look for the first one off the game.
Shyvana has priority here. So definitely can stay on the map. It depends how fast the Nautilus and the Aphelios can get to this play and how much health it has left. Tian, going to be spotted on vision. Lisa will see that one now as well. And you can see, look at what Direwolves have to do here, right? They just completely disengage the Herald. Gragas is already bottom with no teleport. They teleported for the Drake play, Skimmy. So this map flip from Direwolves isn't real until the Gragas gets here. They'll see him pass through mid lane and just watch what Direwolves do once the minimap shows the Gragas.
Kyose rather cycling the cooldowns. The shortest text flash you ever see, but it doesn't even matter. They caught up LeBlanc, Kyose's dead. It did not matter. Gudo now separating himself from the rest of the team. Shadow Surge on his head, not willing to take the second charge out of his Appy. They've done the damage, they've removed the mids, and they've secured the first Herald of this game.
Yeah, they might lose the Drake in a smite fight. They still did well in the skirmish that ensued. They will secure themselves the Rift Herald, this time with the pick onto Kyose, now 0 and 2. And for me, that's just a battle on too many fronts, right? Nautilus wants to engage. Ooh. He's in trouble.
Yeah, he's dead. And that's an instant flash out of the Cataclysm. That's the challenging smite afterwards, damage onto Che, and he just needs a little bit more. Yes, he actually burns down to the challenging smite. Ross was hungry for it, but that's a double kill for Gudo.
Lisa goes nasty with it there, just quickly, Skimmy, but unfortunately for him, the rest of his team is still losing that skirmish. Beats throws the hook, no ultimate in hand, and doesn't have Aftershock in his build. It is the Glacial. So was definitely just going to die. We're in a pause, but we're also going to watch the replay of this one. Nautilus missing a hook here. I mean, the fight's already dead. Good bubble that connects from Shinky, but the fact that Gudo was here, I don't think that was actually ever going to be a winning 3v3. Just because, again, everything that was used at the Rift Herald. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about now. Lisa just puts on a cheeky clinic while his team's dying. We like that.
We do appreciate some fancy feet. Look, I'll tell you that much. Certainly when two junglers are wrangling together, showcasing what they are all about, he says, I'll pick up one, at least. Just
Make
upset
it
the
more
party.
worthwhile, yeah. Make it a little bit more worthwhile, but again, that's one of those things where, like, Peace are making the play. If there was no Jarvan there, perhaps that was a good play, but he was there, and Gudo has been progressively more and more playing around his bottom lane, I will say, in the past maybe 2 weeks of the LCO.
Sure.
It's almost expected that he'll be there these times, right? And Lucian Nami, while it might be a hard 2v2 matchup at certain times, it's probably still going to get played towards Tian. Dragon Slayer wants that bloody passive.
He certainly does, and that's what I was excited to see. Second stack, or rather third stack, I should say, acquire for himself. It's a good skin, isn't it?
It is a nice. China's got a lot of creativity with their skin line as well. For anyone who doesn't know what the champion Shyvana does for a passive, by the way, Timmy, because no one should really know that. Don't see Shyvana very often. She gets bonus resistances for every Drake that is killed. And she also does bonus damage to Drake. So map flips where like an AD and a supporter on the top side, if it's top lane is isolated, you're able to hit that Drake, you do so much damage by yourself, you can almost solo it.
Second there, the hook went out, connects with the terrain. Mountain map is what we have, so really trying to play with the terminology of stuck between a rock and a hard place, but it wasn't to be. Herald comes out, one plate may just fall before the headbutt connects, so now to just two, close to execution range. Just a quick injection of gold, as the gold really is dead even here at 14 minutes.
We really do have a fairly even game overall. So much of the money, though, is in the hands of Gudo. You can't help but feel like that's maybe not the place you want it to be. Mind you, the heal for Chaeyon is not great. He's going to have to be a red-white Aphelios at all times, you know? I don't think he can be afforded the possibility of sitting back and pretending he's safe from the damage of Direwolves. They will be going for him without a shadow of a doubt. So there's 3 kills on Jarvan means a God Drinker Appy in a lot of trouble.
And he certainly is. Instant flash away on towards the Cataclysm. This is the problem you highlighted. Where's he going to Shadow Search to? He has nothing to escape from. And that is just going to be 2 kills found as easy as you like it. Frost with a shutdown now. He's 2-1-4. A TP in here from Zoranis because he wants to be a part of this occasion. And now Tian is saying, well, if I die, I'm dying with a little bit of extra gold in my back pocket.
He trims the wave as best he could. He's not going to be able to take the entirety of it, and will just go through the structures. Surprised he doesn't stop to just have a cheeky gromp on the way. He's going to walk towards mid lane, actually. This turret very low. Here he comes.
Straight into Dragon Form. Instant Flame Breath and a flash after. It's a lot of burst. And it's enough, actually, to secure their play, which is mid-tier 1.
Yeah, confirms the trade overall. I mean, it is still going to be the kill that goes the way of Direwolves. They'll be happy with that one. But the mid lane outer turret, oh my god, there's just no shot, bro. How does that hit? And then the terrain stops him from covering the distance. Work that one out for me, Sherlock.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic, isn't it, really? Nautilus in a nutshell. How many clips have you seen that have just been deceptive and you're thinking, there's no way. How can that be explained? Is it ping? Probably not.
Nah, it's just lollipop mechanics. Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
Nautilus is a little bit unfair with things like that. Also, I think that was a 150 shutdown on Appy top lane for the 1 kill that they did get, and flashing the flag drag is just losing, right? If you're playing against the Jarvan as a champion that has no mobility beyond the flash to get out of something like a Jarvan ultimate, you just kind of have to cop the L with that flag drag or dodge it.
Yeah.
And then the second he goes for the ult, that's the only real window that you can actively choose to flash. But chooses to flash, gets ulted, and then just dies trying to stand and deliver, results in Lisa going down with him. So it could have potentially just been 1 kill.
Certainly could have been. And he, had no target to ulti or a way to at least, go down swinging. Rough situation for them. There's bounties that you highlight. 3 of them now in the side of Direwolves. 150 also to their name. I guess it does bring up an interesting conversation, right, about the Jarvan. He is the majority of the gold, as you highlight. Not really going to change much towards his itemization, but if there's ever a world where you're saying, GA second or even dev stance, just protect it. Make sure that you can be a monster.
Just quickly, Skimmy, they've made a full map movement towards top lane. They'll be spotted on vision. They knew the vision was there. To be clear, Lisa had pinged it, so they could have chosen to be invisible towards top lane, which is what I was hoping to see from. But the 1 ward placed by Zoranis will be enough. It does mean the top lane will be traded for bot here, though. The map starts to really open up. The big thing is 30 seconds until the Drake. Shyvana obviously wanting that, but what will Peace do? Because they'll be too late to the play if they try and fight.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Yes, good point. I mean, the last two plays we really have seen is both teams just trading turrets, right? Top for bot, top for mids. And then an overlap of both objectives on either side of the map spawning at once. We know that, say, Shyvana wants that dragon stack. Question becomes, though, will Direwolves contest it, or will they go for the Herald? Will a fight break out to ensure that they can get both? Fans, this is here uncontested. Both junglers are starting things off.
Yeah, map's just completely split by vision and by design from both teams. They are just going to handshake the objective. Drake number 3 when it's one apiece. Pretty irrelevant, not gonna lie. It doesn't actually do anything for the game state, right? Like if the 2 Drakes belonged to Direwolves, that third would have been crucial. Peace may have reassessed what they were after. But that Drake genuinely does nothing but delay the soul. And we're looking at a mountain soul. Peace just put their priorities in place. They say we're not fighting for the Drake. They'll go for the Herald, they'll go for the opportunity play of summoning that for a turret, and they've still got the outer turret and bottom lane to play towards. So overall, it is just going to be that trade.
Certainly is the case. Now we find 4 turrets all removed. And pretty ballers in the court here for Peace to say this Herald is going to find value.
This is so odd because Direwolves and Peace both reset and flip the map completely, right? You can see Peace now clearing out all of the vision that belongs to Direwolves. Direwolves are doing the same thing, but there is nothing on that side of the map. Like, there's no actual trade to be had here besides the vision being cleared, where Peace can just reset, go for the Herald Summon bot like we said. That's a turret. That's potentially 2 turrets because Direwolves aren't considering it. They've just completely walked out top lane.
You just look at the minimap. They've walked up top, realized there's nothing there, gone mid, can't find it.
There's nothing there.
A recall back to base, and as you say, yeah, fantastic acquisition. 2 turrets found for free to Shadow Surge connects, and then the rotate from mid to bot. It's the shutdown that you feared.
And Kudo just by himself in the red side jungle. It's not his, right? Everyone else is in base. You've got potential flank teleports. They'd be very wide flanks, to be fair, but like, you had Zoranus and you had Kyose with the potential to still get to that play. So they have more permission to be top side of the map when there's a blue buff for Kyose's, right? So that makes sense for LeBlanc. The rest of the Dials just cop the L. They'll lose 2 turrets with the Herald Summon, which was predictable, by the way. And then they'll just lose a death with it. I'm not sure. I think they just lost their heads for a second there.
Slap fight of lapse of judgment, and it's certainly costing dearly. And as long as this mid-tier 1 survives the Peace, they have so much vision and room to work with to guarantee these next Drakes work in their favor, right? It's going to be very easy for them to rotate the short side from bot to mid and find picks like they did on Skudo rather consistently now.
We're looking at Vex with no ultimate for a few seconds, but Zoranus is the one being gone on.
Not pressure to commit to anything just yet. Oh, very close on that hook, wasn't it? Shinky may have just had a heart attack.
Yeah, Beat saying the enemy Nautilus hits that one. The Lollipop just was not in his favor this time around. But yes, the main point I was making there is Appy had no ultimate for a few seconds, so it would have been good of them to wait. Nautilus is the same, so just keep that in mind. If you're looking for how Peace choose to engage these fights, Nautilus is the free engage option. Summoner's back, though, does mean that they're pretty well off overall for actually starting to really look for these 5v fights.
Back to base, item spikes coming on through, 2 items in the bot lane to match that of Frost. Donya's now also completed for Appy, which is huge. Could make life a little bit easier, considering that he has a lot of diving threats going towards him, but obviously to enable him to be very aggressive in his own right as well.
Yeah. Blue buff to be contested. They saw the animations there as well, I believe, Direwolves. So if they use that to try and look mid, that would be very clever.
Mid lane we go, Cataclysm to chain, and that is the point and the pressure that you just love to see. He hit a flash, but he gets punished again. I mean, Goodo's just clean with it.
I mean, you see Vex throwing skill shots through the wall at the blue buff, and that's your indicator. That's crazy how little amount of detail and information they had to still make that play with absolute confidence. But they'll get the pick. They'll get both, in fact. The patience from Jarvan paying off. Tian's altered.
Oh, very early on. Wants to hit them with enough poke to try and dissuade them from committing to this Baron fight. It could be a dance in a moment. He's hit Frost. That's the target you're after. A big heal.
Jose. He wants Appy.
Waiting for it. The face check onto Appy. The instant fear onto him as well. Kyose in trouble. He has a flash, but he has no stopwatch. He's just going to get run down. Burned by the Shyvana. And the Baron will be disengaged away from. But Direwolves are now low and they're stuck in the river.
Pick was nasty from Lisa. I mean, he wanted a montage. He followed that Q through his all upside. But Tian's able to lock down the second kill. And now they continue to hunt.
Yeah, this is your concern because Peace are redeploying to the map. The bubble misses,
no.
but it doesn't matter. Okay, well.
No, that is so tragic. Oh, they're going again.
Oh, they're going for more. They're going for more. This time the hook connects. The Moonlight Vigil zones them from afar. He's got the tags. And he's got the Nami. There's the shutdown. There's the double Cheon. Back to business. And now they just want to try and get the solution. It's 5-1 and 5. It's a big amount of gold, but yeah.
It's actually a comedy of vision. That is really what we've been seeing there. Like, why does Lisa die looking to stop that recall? It's because he had a ward on the back part of the bush, but the rest of Direwolves are recalling together just pixels away. And so the Q connects, they all cancel, and they find themselves Lisa. And perhaps Direwolves just feeling themselves after that point, right? They wanted to try and force the rest of that fight. But that's into the waiting arms of peace. So we're just a bit of game of tennis here, to be honest.
Like we're back to deuce. 40-40. See who can get that advantage and secure the set.
Hey, my man's watches tennis.
Oh, I love a good bit of tennis. Been to Wimbledon back in my day.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That'd be banging.
Back as a young skimmy.
Is Wimbledon the one where they have to wear all white though, right?
That's right, yeah. The
Feels a
grass
little
courts.
bit too proper for
It's
Australia
very
to
English.
go to.
Yeah, absolutely. Tea and scones. 2 Drakes apiece now. So 24 minutes in. It's going to be a very slow soul point if that really is a consideration at all. But I guess, yeah, going back to your previous point, Vision really is becoming the name of this game without a shadow of a doubt as to which jungler can enable the play and who can try and dodge as many skill shots as possible.
You know, one thing that I was looking at was what Tian was going to build in terms of itemization. He was building to what could have been an Anathemas or Warmogs, and he chose to go for the Warmogs, and now it seems like he is going to be going towards the ability power route. When I was originally looking at Shyvana's build, I figured it could just be like a Frostfire Blade of the Ruined King, right? Like AD split push build, which would annihilate the Gragas over time, right? You start to get more items.
Yeah.
You're just going to be unstoppable in a side lane. But he's going towards more of the team fight dragon form Shyvana build. And one of the most amazing things that a Warmogs provides, not only does it scale nicely with all of the follow-up AP items that he can get now because they are based off health, is that you can hit Baron. You can just hit Baron at any time, reset your health back to 100% if they come to contest you. You get to play with your health values so much more aggressively. Same thing with team fighting, right? LeBlanc can't touch you now. It's actually pointless for a LeBlanc to combo you unless you're trying to go for all-in threat. And if that misses, you don't have to reset. You stay on the map.
It's going to be a big terror on the map once that Demonic Embrace is complete. I suppose we got a little bit of a taste of what that could be with tank Akali for a fair bit of time. Obviously not at the same levels with the Chem tank, but certainly the same idea, converting the health into damage, into bird, into very scary one-shot territory. Ooh, beats.
We like that though. We like that a lot. There's a Hex Flash Nautilus, so world's still open to him. And Tian being level 15, not 16, does mean the stacking of this dragon back up will take a little bit longer than he would like. But he's perfectly comfortable with this one, so like you said, Demonic Embrace is going to be on. I think it's 2% of max health is converted to ability power.
You're right, yeah.
I think it's 2%, so that with like a Warmogs with the Frostfire giving percentage, rather flat health values as a mythic passive, there's just so much HP on this guy.
49 ability power at the moment, close to 3,500 health. A tank that really can just run you down. We've yet to really see the true 1v1 nature with the Ghost attack, but hasn't really needed to be quite honest. quite content just to sit in these side waves. Let the rest of his team provide pressure and vision elsewhere.
Here he goes, finally to a side lane. Warmonks doesn't get much value when he's by himself down there, but Direwolves are going to utilize this window of opportunity. They're going to push out mid. They already have good vision. You can see that one ward right in the middle of the lane in mid lane. Not going to get swept just yet, so you can see how they play around this fact. If at any point the opportunity presents itself, they would have gone for the engage. Jarvan and LeBlanc, highly capable to cover distances for that.
Someone to check. Every flash is available here for Peace, so they need to be hot on the money, except for Beats, who's only got a Hex Flash. Oh, great buffer there. Going golden, turns around, depth charge. My job is done, but I will fall on down for it. Goodo gonna get that kill. In jumps Lisa, looking for the kick. Appy with a Shadow Surge, getting a massive fear, but it's not gonna be enough. Frost has got himself shut down. He's taking out Cheon. He's gonna take down as many people as he can. 6-2 and 6, but finally he falls down for it. Lisa's gonna get a 1k bounty, but Direwolves are going to get a team fight win.
And it just feels so unexpected as to why that even happened, right? Like, we know that Kyosei is just kind of cracked when it comes to LeBlanc gameplay. Beats knows they're in that bush and steps just too close. You know, just a Teemo worth of distance too close to the bush. Gets the chains connected in a full combo from a LeBlanc. And again, doesn't have the aftershock. Yes, you buffer the stopwatch nicely with your hook and fancy Nautilus mechanics, but you're so far out of position that the rest of the team's just going to collapse on you. And Direwolves get to start the fight with a numbers advantage. Tian trying,
waiting for that Flame Breath cooldown to come off again. Hits one, hits a second. Look how little it does into Renus of all people. It was always going to be a tough ask there as the sole survivor. This is the point though. Beats posturing, but...
Yeah, but what's there for him, right? Lisa's bot side, you've literally got your Shyvana farming bot lane and have to teleport into the play. You can't afford to walk into the Direwolves and give them first tempo on a play that starts, because they have enough damage to assassinate someone. And then in a numbers disadvantage, you really are just losing, right? Like, you want to be Nautilus hooking someone that has a Vex ult flying out at them. But nevertheless, that is how it plays out.
We find ourselves fast approaching 30 minutes into this game. Direwolves claim the Baron, and Tian will then relegate himself to getting a dragon on his own. There is a demonic embrace complete, so a lot of extra damage now injected into his inventory. The only member just at this stage not to have fallen on down. He's going to link up here with Lisa, looking to try and take down Kyosei, who's going to have the fancy feet with the Distort, with the clone. Everything else. Just watch the rest of his team utilize this Baron buff to Siege.
Looks on Goodo, has been caught.
Can go instantly golden tidal wave, buys a little bit of time. There's a bubble on his head, but it's not required. Nobody followed up Peace, and they will just disengage.
They're going to make the Vex ultimate fizzle. I'm pretty sure the Vex ult connected just prior to the Zonias, so there was a chance you follow that. But the tidal wave was actually perfectly timed by Shinky. Whether he knows it or not, at max range, he's able to stop Appy from getting in. The second that ends, again, the play just dissipates. He's going to walk away. Beats, that was a bit better from Peace, right, in terms of how engaging goes for them. But LeBlanc's alive, back on the map. Teleport use is now just going to pressure mid lane with Baron buff. This is a tough game state for Peace.
Very rough spot to find themselves in. 1-4 split demonstrated by Direwolves. And Lisa hovering between bot and mid, looking for anything he can find, but you can't catch the LeBlanc, you can't punish them bot side. The Baron is still there for another 30 seconds. He's putting in a lot of work right now. They found a whole mountain's worth of gold, as well as structures from this. And they may have now just found 2 exposed inhibitors.
So that last cannon hit is the last thing remaining. All the engage.
Oh, the explosive cask. That's all it takes for that one pick. Beats is down for now 35 seconds. Tian back in dragon form. Needs to try and trim this wave. We're going to try and trim the members of Direwolves instead. They're putting pressure with what is the remnants of this Baron buff now set to expire. A lot of gold, 4k.
Beats having a real roughie this time around, and hopefully we don't see the curse of the... Is it the curse of the Corporal, we'll call it? The game ends before he can get a Zonia's Hourglass. He's just sitting on that Seeker's Arm guard.
True. Good spotting.
is close. It's needed, right? That's the main point here. If you're going to win these team fights, you probably want to be suicide engaging with a stopwatch in hand. Now stopwatch is gone. You can't. He's the sole duo front line. I think we've seen Tian flanking more often than not so far.
Yeah.
They all have dive, but Nautilus is the crucial piece of the puzzle to actually make a team fight work. As it stands, it's almost impossible for them to get that done unless they get to start the fight on their terms, and Direwolves want none of that.
Certainly has been easier said than done in that regard. Double stopwatch now completed for Frost and Shinky, both with flash in hand. Still not going to be found Kyosei. There have been dangerous moments where he could have been punished, but still a key target they'd love to try and acquire. And Appy's actually gone so far as to say, I've got a Zonia's, I'm actually going to couple that with a stopwatch. I just need as much time to make a hero's play to try and salvage this game.
It is really nice for baiting cooldowns as well from the side of Direwolves. My question is, Mountain Soul in a minute, the Direwolves even care? They want to end, right? And like Peace, they've fallen for the play. Direwolves have called the bluff. You can go for the Drake if you want. There's still 50 seconds till it spawns. We're pushing top lane. You want to set up vision? We don't care.
Don't care at all. Tian once again on that flank as you highlight. Good is going to turn around here with the Cataclysm locking in place. So this Dragon's Breath will not do much. In goes Appy. The fear is there. He's taken out Kyosei. Down for a whole minute, Rusty. A kick to Shinky, who will go golden. The culling is there, but a Shadow Surge reset is enough for Appy to follow him through. Peace. We wanted the hero's moment, and that is what we got.
They got exactly the fight that they needed. Direwolves don't actually continue to use the Drake as the point of focus, right? They do commit themselves to top lane. The flank comes through from Tian. The fight happens. I mean, that was last-ditch effort from Peace. If that fight doesn't go well, you're staring down potential inhibitors, and maybe even the entire game if the fight goes terribly. But Peace, they'll actually get themselves not just the team fight win, not just the shutdowns in terms of gold value, to keep us within 2,000, by the way. They're going to get a Mountain Soul. This game went from 2 inhibitors and a potential free win to just free farming for the next couple of minutes because they've been afforded that by inhibitors being taken.
Yeah, I mean, look at this fight once again. Direwolves looking to try and put a free inhibitor checkmate situation in. Make it very hard for that soul point, but...
I mean, what is Kudo doing, first of all? He's just locked the dragon in a cage, and it doesn't matter because Appy's hit the ultimate. The rest of the team are making it work. Kick's good and opens the gates for Appy to hit the follow-through on that ultimate reset onto Carry of Frost. And I mean, that's just a picture-perfect team fight from them. But the question remains, Skimmy. Should a Jarvan ult to Shyvana by herself? And why is the answer no?
He went for the zonal defense, didn't he? I mean, Tian is the highest level in this game, but I don't know if he's going to put out the pressure that warrants that you forget about the rest of your team. And he goes again. He's just completed random wins as well. Really now a menace. Very safe with the Mountain Soul. Kyosei's in trouble. Tidal Wave is there. He's just dead. Shadow Surge actually connects across the wall towards Shinky. In comes Appy. One shot is surely soon to come through. He's going to find it. Go golden. He doesn't have that stopwatch anymore. The Zonius is up in 5 seconds. I don't think it's going to be required. Great dash away from Frost. And
oh no, though. Like that is probably an inhibitor mid. Tian's just going to keep him busy. He's actually just trying to play zone D, push him away. Mountain Soul, this Shyvana with the random wins message, too tanky. Genuinely too tanky. They could.
They've got a minion wave, they've got a cannon. It is only 1 minion wave. Direwolves need to trim this, but beats the zoning. He doesn't have that Zonius, but doesn't really matter. The curse continues, but do they care if they win this game? 1 turret goes down, a second to follow. In jumps Gooder, but he's forced to flash away. That is the wrong way. Defend the base, but he won't do enough damage.
They're in the fountain, Skimmy, trying to dive Shinky just before the Nexus will fall, but the Nexus will eventually drop, and you would say from the clutches of an L, Peace managed to pull a rabbit out of a hat. 1 team fight. Never disrespect the Peace roster because they will pull it back to a win immediately.
And that may be the first time we've seen Peace really be so far behind, but have the bite, the bark to get themselves back into a position where they're saying, we're reclaiming this game, this is our destiny, this is our fate. And I think what's really interesting is Direwolves coming into this one, they just needed 1 win. They needed a win to guarantee playoffs, otherwise they're much more now reliant on other teams to sort of decide their fate. And Mac, you look at that one, they were going to cause the upset. They were going to beat Peace. They had potentially 3 inhibitors to take. It was checkmate.
Well, that could have locked in the playoffs position as well. We've spoken about it all day so far. They still have a chance to do that, but it's reliant now on another team, and it's not them. So that's really hard when you have to put your future in someone else's hands, right? However, yeah, it's still looking pretty good. But Direwolves, as a team, you know, they played that very well indeed. I love seeing Shyvana in the LCO. We got some last year with Parbu picking it up on the odd occasion, and it's been a long time since then, and in a different role as well. I've seen Shyvana played in top. It's a bit of an off-meta pick. I didn't think we'd ever, in any world or any reality, see it in a competitive game, but we have, and now it's got a 100% win rate, maybe less if it's been played overseas, but there you bloody have it. Hey, that was something. And as a Shyvana player, I can say I'm very happy that this has happened. So, Tian, if you're watching, thank you very much, my friend. Now, you know, down to what's actually gone on. So, Peace could have copped another L to Direwolves of all teams. That is a scary prospect, especially going towards playoffs. But it just goes to show how closely contested all these top 5 teams are, except for maybe Chiefs right now, because we're seeing different teams beat different teams. You know, Peace could have lost there. They didn't, because they knew exactly how to get back into the game. Hard punish Direwolves and their mispositioning in fights like this where, you know, they all split up different ways. It seemed like the coordination wasn't there. But it was that other fight in the base where Peace just held off the game-losing play, or the game-ending play, rather. And look, have a look at that gold swing. You guys were talking about it on the cast, Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, it just went from, you know, 5,000, 2 inhibitors down as well with that 5,000 gold lead to literally just flipping on a dime, right? One team fight, objective bounties, shut down gold, Drake's soul secured, and just bang, game goes back to even. And in an even game like that, you know, with the LeBlanc, with the Lucian scaling off, you really need to keep the leads that you have or it's completely gone. And you can see what happens and how quickly the game ends when that gold swung.
Well, it wasn't really a quick game overall, though. 36 minutes, so we're starting to get a few longer games on the LCO after the crazy fast situation that we had yesterday. A couple of speed runs coming through and a whole lot of long breaks. But look, we're trying to bloody make time here. We're trying to make things happen. And I have no complaints with what's going on for Peace today. That's another dub, and they're going to hold that second position. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to beat them. We'll have to have a look at the leaderboard. Towards the end of the day, it's like there's a chance, I think, for a couple of teams to catch them and maybe take that second position. And, you know, considering how strong Peace were at the start of this split, I feel like a lot of people are surprised, right? Skimmy.
I mean, they are, and I think that's why this defeat for Direwolves is going to sting that much more, because they held all the cards for that game. That was their game to lose. They had the inhibitors. They were working for a third. They were looking at a Drake that was being, you know, considered by Peace, and you're thinking Direwolves have every option. You know, Peace, it's going to be quite telegraphed what they're going to try and achieve here, and yeah, I don't know where you look to try and, you know, not necessarily lay the blame, but what are you as a coach VOD reviewing?
Look, someone that might know where to look to throw that blame around is Kitty. So, Kitty, who are we blaming?
Well, I'm not blaming Tian because Tian definitely carried on that Shyvana pick, so let's bring him in for the interview again. So hello once again, let's talk about the Shyvana top. So it was quite a controversial pick with the Shyvana being a response to the Gragas top lane. It was also the first time we saw a Warmogs in the LCO, especially on that Shyvana. So walk me through the matchup and the item build.
That's actually my second time ever Shyvana. If you want to look at my accounts in Solo Queue, I literally just played Shyvana yesterday because I saw Pepe play it. And then when I have a champion that I want to play, I literally just select the Poppy champion. I said to my coach, I'm probably gonna lock in Shyvana, and I wanted the rest of my team to carry if I inted. Fortunately, they decided to int, so I had to step up my Shyvana mechanics, and glad we could pull out the win.
Well, tell me why you decided to build Warmogs.
I honestly just copied Whippo. He just said Frostfire and then Warmogs, and I think Shyvana gets armor and magic resist depending on how many dragons you get, so you actually don't need to buy armor and magic resist. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll just build Warmogs.
Some very good insight coming out of Tian. Well, Peace also has the longest game time, averaging 30 minutes and 14 seconds. Is Peace a late game team, or is it something else?
Nah, I think we just grief in the mid game a little bit too hard. Like, we just kind of run around like headless chickens in the mid game. Don't really know what's going on there. Maybe I'll have to talk with the boys later on after this interview about what's going on. Maybe we've got a mid-wave 7 on the horizon, but next week might be different.
Well, Midwave 7 is something we haven't heard in a while. Well, I'm going to let you go, Tian, for coming back in that game. Congrats on the win again, and have a good night's rest.
Okay, thank you.
He's a good man. Good man. Picking off meta picks, saw some other professional player play at one time, and that was enough. That was it. So second ever time playing Shyvana top, huh?
Yeah, why not, huh? I mean, Whiplo is a very good top laner, so I can completely understand taking strats from Whiplo in general. I still think the Warmogs could have been something like an Anathema's Chains. If you know, I get the idea of getting resistance to the Drake, but hey, I like Chains, put it on the Lucian, what's he gonna do?
Nothing. That's the answer. Now, someone that did a whole lot in the Rift was Tian, and he is our Dare MVP for match number 2 of the day. So big congratulations. Most valuable player for a reason, 2-0-7. He had a lot of health. If you saw him when he was max level towards the end, he was barely losing anything at all. He was the biggest tank you've ever seen. 24% damage share as well, so still just laying it down the groundwork and 50% KP, which, you know, I think is pretty good considering he was locked to that top lane for a whole lot of the game, Skip.
He was, hence why he hit level 18, right? He was just farming up a storm, he didn't die once, so he was able to vacuum up as much as he could. And you know, there's situations where he was certainly 1v5 saying this Baron shouldn't be as easy as it could be for the side of Direwolves, but ultimately, you know, he was that much of a threat that a Cataclysm was committed towards him, and then now that was the turning point.
That certainly was. Now, a turning point in your lives is right now, because if you haven't joined the Discord, join it. You can talk with us, you can show pictures of your pets, you can talk about the games live with other people that aren't, you know, the gremlins in Twitch chat.
You can use my pet as an emote, Mac.
You can?
Yeah.
I didn't even know
my dog's on there as an emote.
I'd go on there.
I'll put it in Discord now.
You do it right now because I don't want to have to struggle to find it because I got a lot of Discords, man. You know, I'm a popular guy.
failed.
Oh, I
Don't
see
look.
that.
Don't look.
Delete the evidence.
We're good.
Anyway, while he's deleting the evidence, that's that. We got a third game to get to. We're going to go through a break to get there. So, ladies and gents, don't go too far. Game number 3 coming up just after this. It's PGG up against Mammoth.
Cataclysm locking in place of this Dragon's Breath will not do much. In goes Zappy, the fear is there! He's taken out Kyose, down for a whole minute, Rusty. Kick of Shinki, who will go golden. The culling is there, but the Shadow Surge reset is enough for Abby to follow him through. Peace, we wanted the hero's moment, and that is what we got. Very takes the Mountain Soul. Kyose's in trouble, Tidal Wave is there, he's dead. Shadow Surge actually connects across the world towards Shinki. In comes Zappy, one shot is surely soon to come through. He's going to find it, go golden. He doesn't have that stopwatch anymore.